do you date white men? Alright, so I decided to start a podcast. I just wanted to ask you guys some weird shit question. Apparently there is a new type of nigga in 2020, which is crazy to me because I'm usually not surprised by a lot of stuff. But so let me tell y'all what happened. Okay, so last week I was at work and my coworker came up to me and was like, hey, let me ask you something. I was like, all right, cool. Mind you, this is a black man. He goes, do you date white men? And I'm like, a little shocked because it was random as fuck. And I was like, no. And he was like, why not? I was like, because I don't date white men. I only date black men. So apparently my answer that I only date black men was not good enough for him. So then he's like, well, what's your reasons for only dating black men? Why won't you date white men? I was like, well, to me, the black man is God. That's just my opinion. So then that reason wasn't good enough for him. So I was like, damn, bro, you really not trying to accept this. So I was like, all right, cool. And I started listing the reasons why I don't want to date white men. So we get into the conversation or whatever about why I want to date white men. I was like, well, first of all, they age terribly. They are the worst race of people that age, like, just god awful. I was like, nah, I can't wake up every morning and look at The Walking Dead every morning. I can't. I'm good. So he was like, all right, yeah, you right. I get that. So then he's like, well, what else do you make you not want to date white men? I was like, bro, like, this conversation was like so infuriating. Like, I was mad as shit when I got done with this conversation. I was like, look, bro, I just don't date white men. That's not my thing. He was like, well, you can't just not like white men. I was like, what the fuck is the problem? He was like, ain't no problem. I was like, okay, so tell me what you want me to say. So then we get into like, all right, they can't understand me as good as a black man. Because I told him, I was like, yo, the only man that can ever understand me in this world is a black man. He's like, well, what you're trying to say is that you also can't understand him because you're black. I said, yes, like, absolutely. Like, we would never completely understand each other, so why even go there? So then he's like, well, you know, what if he got jumped by a group of black men? That would be fucked up, right? And I was like, yeah, but I wouldn't sympathize with him the same way I would a black man. Like, it was crazy because I'm sitting here, I wasn't understanding why this black man was trying to convince me, a black woman, to date white men. It didn't make sense. Like, it still don't make sense. Like, my brain is not processing the concept of what he was saying. And it's like, it's crazy because, like, it's this type of black man that literally go around saying black women don't date black men. But you try to convince black women to date white men. What the? Bruh. I don't know what happened, but I was so done with this conversation when I was just like, all right. And he just, like, would not let it go. I'm like, look, bro, I only date black men. So whatever you got to do with that, that's on you. And he's like, well, I date all women. Of course you do. I don't doubt that. Like, nah. So, like, I was just, like, really puzzled because apparently there's, like, black men that are convincing black women to date outside their race, but then complain about black women not wanting black men. Like, I guess it's like, to me, it's a new type of nigga to me because obviously I didn't know that they existed. That's my fault. But I mean, I'm pretty sure they have existed. I just haven't been paying attention because I've been looking at the real black men, apparently. So I was like, wow, this puzzles me. So I'm curious as to know what y'all think about a black man trying to convince me, a black woman, to basically not date black men. Like, he had a whole problem with accepting that I just date black men because that's what I want. He was like, you're a racist. I was like, I'll be that. Like, proudly. Like, I didn't get that. He was like, you're discriminating. I say, I will do that. Proudly. And he was like, well, that's not right. I was like, how? He was like, well, I have a preference. And I say, well, I have a preference too, black men. And he's like, well, that's okay to have a preference. I was like, so how did I become a racist if I have a preference? He's like, well, the reasons that you listed are racist. All right. I'm a racist. So that's just how I'm gonna live my life, because black men are God. So, yeah. Y'all just let me know what y'all think and y'all take on this, because this is really, like, my brain, like I said, is not processing this concept the way he said this. Like, this is crazy. Like, why would you convince me to date white men when I clearly said that's not what I want to do? Clearly. So y'all just let me know, because my mind is all right.